Perfect. So, hi everybody. My name is Nicole Tschauder. I work for SAS. I don't know if two of you know SAS. Okay, that's more than I expected. Very good. From my background, I'm a mathematician, and so I was used to R programming at university. And so it's really interesting for me to work at SAS because SAS produces or develops software to analyze data, to help companies analyze the data. And this software is designed for the use of companies. So it's quite interesting for me to see the difference, what challenges do you have with data at university side, where you have to use the fanciest algorithms, for example, and what companies need. Because at company side there aren't so many programmers, coders, and so they need some tools which supports them in analyzing the data. And the topic of my talk is smart cities and big data. And what are your first ideas when you think of smart cities? So maybe you think of smart power distribution. So assume that each component of a grid is connected to each other, the power line, the transformer, each home electric meter, and all the devices can talk to each other. And then the company can deliver the energy much more efficient over the whole city. But it's not just about power distribution, it's also about energy generation. So smart homes, for example, renewable energies. So there are some houses, for example, one is in Frankfurt as well, in Westhafen, which can generate more energy as they consume. So this is also a part of smart cities. A different thing which you could think of is smart traffic control. For example, smart city lights. And when the signals are all connected together and they can communicate together, they can change the traffic conditions in the city. And so they can support you to reduce your travel time, for example, and the amount of time cars are in idle mode. And less traffic jam is not just a benefit for the citizens of the city, it's also a method for reducing CO2 emissions, which is also an aspect of smart cities, climate aspects. Another thing you could think of when you hear the term smart cities is a connected city. Connected city with connected citizens. Think of hotspots which are available everywhere in public areas in cities, where the city offers some apps for public services, some virtual tourist guides, and so on and so on. All of these topics are related to smart cities. But what about this? More than 70,000 people were killed or were seriously injured in a road accident just in 2015. That's a really, really huge number.
Where? Not in Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just in 2015.
Seriously injured.
So this is, we are talking about cities, and most of you will probably think, okay, almost all people died in an accident died on a highway, but that's not true at all. 30% of all people who are killed by an accident are killed in a city, in urban areas, 30%, which means for the year 2015 that it's around 1,000 people who were killed by a car accident in a city. And 70% of all accidents where people get injured or killed happen in a city, 70% of all accidents, which means that we have 35,000 seriously injured people in a city in 2015 and more than 250,000 people slightly injured. And so for me, when it comes to some aspects of smart cities, in my opinion, the first thing we should look at is how we could become a city, safe city. How we can analyze data to make our city more safe. Okay, as I mentioned right at the beginning, I work at SAS and I work in the pre-sales at SAS. And therefore, I'm in contact with different companies different prospects, and we talked to each other about how the companies can realize their ideas and the issues they have and how they can analyze the data. And so, some time ago, I was in contact, or there was a project with the police department in Cologne and the University of Cologne. And they asked themselves the question, how can we prevent accidents in our city, Cologne? And I'm presenting you some aspects and some results regarding this project, and I want to take you to the journey we made, which starts just with two questions, when and where. So here you see a lot of questions which could be key risk factors when it comes to data analyzing, and which includes some accidents. But remember, just two questions. I show you the results just from when and where. So here you see one of our software which we used for this project. It's called Visual Analytics. It's not interesting here, or important here at this point. It was a German project, therefore the variables are all in German, but I will explain all the variables we use so that everyone can understand what we are seeing here. So right at the left, you see all the different variables we had. There were some data from the police departments about the accidents which happened. There were some data from the university side. And here you see we have some different variables, some categorical variables. For example, the district where the accident happened, or the sex of people who were involved, or if some drugs or drunk people were involved in this. And I hope that it starts. I'm not quite sure. I think it doesn't work. Okay, so it works. You see we have some categorical variables, and we see some for example, some geographical variables, where it's the location of the accident, and we see a lot of measurement variables, for example, the age of the people who were involved, or if there were some pedestrians involved, or some cyclists and so on. Okay, first of all, we want to focus on the question, where did the most accidents happen? And in Cologne, we have some different districts, so it would be interesting to see in which district the most accidents happened. And so we choose the district here on the left side, drag and drop it on the diagram, and then we see a bar chart. So we can focus on the most important district at this point, and we see the different names of the district at this point. So a bar chart is not that sexy, it's not so interesting, it's a little bit boring, and visually it doesn't have so much information inside. Because there are bigger districts, for example, in Cologne, and then everyone would assume that there are more accidents. So it would be interesting to compare bigger districts and smaller districts. And therefore we need another visualization at this point. And we will create a tree map. So just change this visualization to a tree map, and then we choose the population number. So now we see for each district we have our own pie, and the size depends on the population at this point. And now we take as a color the number of accidents at this district. Now we just change the color to green to red, and then we see that there are a lot of districts which are bigger and which have some accidents, so that's interesting. But we have one district which is really, really small, but where a lot of accidents happened in the years we analyzed. And that is a district where the police department has to keep an eye on. And you just can see it by such a diagram. What you also can do, for example, if you're interested in the behavior of the accident for cyclists, we have another variable here for, is a cyclist involved, yes or no, binary variable, and we can put this binary variable to this diagram. And then we can formally see where the diagram changed. And this is quite important for such companies or organizations, like, for example, the police department, because they can play with the visualization they have and can get some insights. Okay, now at that point, we have some more insights, we have a better diagram than before because we can generate a feeling. But also right now we don't know how are the accidents distributed across the districts. So are they distributed equally or are they focused on such hotspots? And so the best we could use at this point is a map. So let's do a map. It's also possible with this. And we just have a map, choose the location of the accidents, put it into the diagram, and then this is quite interesting for the police department to see. Here you see the bubble size refers to the number of accidents which happens at each point. And it's really interesting to see how the accidents are completely at the same, or have the same behavior like the big roads. That's really interesting. And what we can do at this point, we could, for example, ask ourselves, are there some pedestrians involved? So we just take as a color the number of pedestrians which were involved in an accident. We just have to focus a little bit, that we can see a little bit more. And that was really, really interesting for the police department. Because now you can see here, so the size again refers to the number of accidents, but the color refers to the number of pedestrians involved in these accidents. And why is this really interesting? You see these yellow and red and orange bubbles here. There's a phenomenon which the police officers told me on our last meeting. They see more and more accidents where pedestrians are involved who were looking at their or watching at their smartphones while crossing the street instead of paying attention at the traffic. And that's a really, really big upcoming problem for them because, as they told me, there are no rules, no laws which prohibit some citizens to watch at their smartphones when crossing a street. So they don't have the power to forbid this. It's not possible. And so they have to think about alternatives. So maybe to put some lights in the pavements. So when people watching at their smartphones have the lights from the bottom. And this is really interesting, and they can't do that in the whole city, on every crossing. Of course they can't do, but with such a visualization, they can prioritize the different crossings. And they can choose some crossings where they start this lights from the ground, from the pavement. And that's quite interesting and helpful for them. And when the police officers saw this visualization, they had another idea as well. Because it's not only good to find some hotspots, it's also interesting and helpful for them to measure the impact their police measures had in the past. So for example, they indicate one hotspot in the Fenlower Street. It's one street in Cologne, and they had a lot of accidents there. And then they decided to do some police measures there in 2012. And now it was really interesting for them to see how the situation changed in 2013. And with a geomap, you can see that it's quite easy to see the difference. And you can also do this just by a table. For sure you can filter on the Fenlower Street, for example, count, and then you have the different counts and you can compare them. So just for the comparison, it's not such necessary. But what is really interesting for them is because they had always assumed that when they do some measures at one point, that these measures impact the surrounding as well. But they hadn't got a proof of this assumption. And with this, they see that they do some measures in the upper part of the street, but they see the impact on the lower part as well. And that's just possible if you have such a map where you can analyze the surrounding at once. Okay, so this is the where question, and we got so many insights for the police department just with the where question. And as I told you, we also want to have a look at the when. So when did the most accidents happen? And we are again back in our tool here. And when we're asking ourselves about when the most accidents happen, we just have to take the month. for the data we have and put it on this diagram. And then we see the behavior, the time series of the accidents, which happens over the years. And we see some up and downs. And for those of you who are interested in forecasting and data science, it was not part of the project, but I just want to show you that it's quite easy here to put a forecast as well. Just to get a first feeling for the forecast, and you can expand this to for example, 18 months. Just for the forecasting interesting people, that's quite interesting when you can easily visualize such a forecast. Yeah, this point. But coming back to our time series, which we had for the police department, they need such a diagram when they want to schedule their measures, because it is more effective when they do some police measures at some high season, and so they have to decide when and where they do some police measures. And Cologne is a big city, so the question is it the same behavior in every district? And the first guess is yes, of course, why not? But then we did such a bubble chart, and the results were fascinating here. Every bubble is one district. And now I will start the animation of this bubble chart, and it's interesting to see how the different districts or the number of accidents behave. For example, look at this blue, it's Ehrenfeld, and green, which is Neustadt Süd, and it's partially different. One goes up, one goes down at the same time, at the same month. And that was quite interesting for the university people who were sitting at the table, because they suddenly said, okay, we recognize our districts where a lot of students live, and we see that all of these districts have a peak when the semester starts. Twice a year. It's fascinating. It was really nice to see how the different bubbles behave and what insights you got from such a visualization. And at this point, it was also interesting to get a little bit more information about when did the accidents happen. And we did. I prepared that in advance because we are running out of time, I think. We're interested at this point when, on which weekday, and on which hour, at which hour were the most accidents. And with this heat map, you can easily see the different parts. So for example, we have the weekends. There are not so much accidents. And we have the night, and we have the early morning. There aren't also any accidents or much accidents at this point. But what we see is, we see that we have the weekdays where we have more accidents. We see that in the morning, that means on our way to work, there are much less accidents than in the evening. So everyone knows that. In the morning we are concentrated, we can pay attention. In the evening we want to go home, we hurry, and so we didn't pay so much attention. And you can see this in the data. And we also see the early quitting time on Friday in this data. Really interesting. And what was the most interesting point at this time was the Tuesday afternoon. In this diagram, you can directly see that on Tuesday afternoon, we don't know why, but there are a lot of accidents on Tuesday afternoon, much more than, for example, Monday or on Wednesday or on Thursday. There's approximately 20% more accidents on Tuesday afternoon. And that was really interesting because we were sitting together with the police department and the university, and I showed them this diagram, and the discussion starts for hours. And they asked me, okay, could we put in if the people were drunken or age and the different districts, and we write everything out. And we couldn't find this the solution for this phenomenon at this point. But what is interesting, I was, for example, at the European Police Summit, and I showed this diagram as well. And again, the discussion starts at this summit. And people in the evening came to me and, I have an idea. Maybe it's Penny, and maybe Penny has some special promotions on Tuesday, and then the people have their big bags, and they're driving and biking, and then there are so many accidents. Maybe. So we don't know. We don't know. At this time, could be interesting to go a little or to deep a little bit more into analytics. And I just want to show you. It wasn't a part of the project, but I just want to show you two possibilities where you can go. First of all, you can make a predictive model. So just create a binary variable. You see it here. You can do it in the surface as well of this software. Just a binary variable which decides is it Tuesday afternoon or is it Monday, Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. And once you've created this diagram, you can use a decision tree. I don't know if every one of you is familiar with a decision tree. And you just have to put the indicator variable inside your decision tree. I don't know if it makes it right now. I have to click it again. Let's have a look what happened on the next page. Okay. So this is the starting point. You know, we just need a distribution of zeros and ones. We have 560 ones and we have, I don't know, 1,200 zeros. And then we can choose some predictors. Yeah, and at this time, we just, as a starting point, choose the districts. And now we can see that there are some, so the data is divided into different bins. And we can see how the distribution differs from bin to bin. And that's a quite interesting predictive model because you can interpret it quite easy. So you can see where the reasons are. And you can put in this decision tree a lot of different variables. And the decision tree or the algorithm in the background choose best variables to divide the data into some bins. And right at the end, you see there are some different paths where you can find more or less ones, which means Tuesday afternoon points. So we couldn't find a definite answer here as well with such an analytical model because obviously the data aren't enough. Maybe it's not the right data we have. But it's just for you to show you which could be the next step at such a point. And another very interesting thing could be a word cloud, text analytics. So what the police also has for all the data, they have some notes the police officers wrote down. And you can do a word cloud for all the accidents you have. And you can quite easily see that Kreisverkehr turnarounds are the most important note the police officers wrote to the accidents. And what you can also do, you can compare the word clouds. For example, here you see on the right side we have the Tuesday afternoon. On the left side we have the Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoon. And some things are the same, of course. But what's really interesting, and maybe it's a hint for the suggestion of one of the people at the European Police Summit, on Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon, there's the Parkplatz Real, which is important. And on the other afternoons, it's, for example, Kaufland. So maybe this is a hint. Maybe we could gather some more data in that direction with promotions in Cologne. Could be, we don't know. And as I said, it wasn't part of the project, but what I wanted to show you is even just with a small diagram we had and with a small information we gave the police department that on Tuesday afternoon it's dangerous to drive in Cologne. They did some actions. They put on their Facebook site because they analyzed the data, their current data right now, and the phenomenon is also there. So I don't know if today, but I don't know, last year it was there. And they put this post on their Facebook site. Yeah? And this is really interesting. It shouldn't be solved, the problem for companies. They could gain some insights and could gain some actions just with small insights they got from data. And these are three things I want to keep you in mind for my talk, because data visualization is not just data distribution. It gives you more. First of all, it gives you first insights, as you see for the police department in Cologne. Second, data visualization itself generates new questions. So think of the Tuesday afternoon phenomenon. Nobody asked about the reasons for this phenomenon before they saw the visualization. So it's an iterative process at this point. And third, be aware of biking in Cologne on Tuesday afternoon. We've seen it could be dangerous. Okay, so I come to the end of my talk. Smart algorithms for smart cities. I would say smart algorithm for safe cities. Thank you.
So if Tuesday is unsafe and no one no longer drives on Tuesday, then Tuesday becomes safe again, right? And then it's the Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not smart algorithm, I would say, but that's another story.